Workaholic VA at 50 loves traveling. Want to know her story? This is Julia, and you're watching Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Hey, 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 it's me, your host, Julia. And you know what it is? Another day, another podcast with me. And welcome to everybody who's tuned into our podcast episode for today. Welcome to another episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. I hope you guys are settled down because we have an awesome virtual assistant guest once again on our podcast episode for today. So, yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who's tuned in. I hope you had your lunch, breakfast, dinner to whatever time of the meal you guys are having right now. Yeah, just let me know. Comment down the food that you're also eating as well, or the type of music you were listening earlier with before you tried to tune in, or you might have, clicked this and find the episode really, really interesting for you. That's why God brought you here. So, yeah, I hope you guys are really, really doing great today because I am doing great as well. And yeah, without further ado, I want to introduce to you guys, of course, we can't wait to know her story, her journey, all of that jazz. And of course, we have another virtual assistant guest today. She is actually a real estate virtual assistant, so let's get to know her, let's get to know her story and all of that. So, yeah, let's put her on stage. Let's give a warm welcome. You guys can applaud on your end there, guys, if you really want to. Yeah, you're welcome to do that. So, let's give a round of applause, a warm welcome to the ever lovely Miss Brenda. Hi, Miss Brenda. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Julia. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. That's really, really nice to know. How did you feel when you got invited to our podcast today?
Yeah, I got excited. I can't wait to tell my story. I'm so proud of my boss. I want to share it to everyone how lucky I am. So here I am.
Yay, that's really nice to know. And we can't wait, for you to share and express, of course, your passion for your job, for the love of your boss as well. Yeah, we can't wait to know all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
before we dive deeper towards those stories, success story that you have as well, please do the people also want to know. Please do introduce yourself, give a little background about yourself, where you're from, all of that stuff. What were you doing before you became a very successful virtual assistant.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I actually was an ex OFW for almost 2 decades. I worked in Taiwan as well as Dubai. So it's all admin jobs.
Mhm.
And after that, way back 2016, I already retired from being an OFW because we already started business here. I am right now in Camarines Sur, particularly in
Mhm.
Ocampo, just 2 towns away
Wow.
from Naga. Yeah, so very far. Actually, our place is not really, we don't really have very good internet connection, honestly. And yeah, but fortunately, there are ways to do that. And fortunately, we met this guy who put up, good connection. So at the moment, aside from being a virtual assistant, we also own agricultural business here in Camarines Sur.
Mm,
Yes.
that's
So at
great.
night I do this. Yes. So, being at 50, everything happens like this. So really very happy.
I love it. I love it. A very, very young age, of course, and to pursue certain career, like that. Not only you are a VA, but you have also your agricultural business there at your hometown. And
Yeah.
I'm very curious, since you've mentioned you were an ex OFW before. What changed? How did it transition to why didn't you continue becoming, an OFW? All of that stuff.
Right. Because, in a person's life, there really has to come a time to retire. And, my kids already grew up without me beside them. And so it wasn't really that late, but they already almost finished college those years. So I wanted to already start something here. I want to, feel how to be here in the Philippines. And since my husband already started a business, I wanted to help him. So yeah, so that's why I decided to settle down.
Mhm.
And then After probably 2016 to 2021, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it took me years to really, I've been hearing about virtual assistants, but I really didn't have that time, probably, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't yet in my mind. But when being a virtual assistant, it already, I think it was during the pandemic that it
Mhm.
really, boom, like, wow,
Exactly.
that's possible. So I said, why not? It's my passion. I love working and I missed working. So business is different. And because I've been exposed to working in hospital and company, so I said, why not try? So
Mhm.
Sphere Rocket really gave me that chance. Very fortunate, very thankful. I'm almost 2 years this month with my boss.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you. And from then till now, it's all the same. I'm happy, Yeah. All it's like it's only yesterday, but it's almost 2 years. So wow. Yeah, it's really, I'm grateful.
That's really, really great. I love how you are such an workaholic, you love working, and I see the passion in you and the productivity in you that after working, of course, with your previous job, you've realized how much you love working as well. And you've discovered that, of course, when making that certain decision. If you didn't make that decision in the first place, which I would really say I could really tell that it's a really best decision that you did as well,
Agree.
because
Yeah.
you realize how important the time it is with your
Yes.
family, most especially that they're growing, they're going off to college, all of those stuff. And of course, it's such a great growth that you've been through as well with,
Mm-hmm.
of course, being a virtual assistant right now. So that's really a big step to do. But at the same time, you love what you're doing and you're happy with that. So that's very, very healthy. I could really tell. And so,
Yes.
yeah, with that being said, I'm also curious going back to being your VA
Mhm.
life. Now that you're in the job, specifically under the real estate kind of virtual assistant, what do you usually do? What's your usual routine? What's your daily task? What does
Mhm.
that job position describe you as? Or like, how do you see it?
Right. So I actually started like only handling small tasks
Mhm.
because it's my first time to be a VA, and I also had to do like a month or so training. So they gave me small tasks. Now it has grown. Not It has grown, but not really that busy because the real estate industry is sometimes high and low. So there
Mhm.
are really peak and off peak. So like right now, my daily routine is check my boss email, and then I check if they have given a task for me. So it's not actually like I have a certain many tasks daily. So I
Mhm.
only wait. But aside from having that daily task like checking her email, checking the calendar, checking what task they have for me,
Mhm.
it's always like, okay, I'm gonna wait. And then because I'm always open, I always ask them, do you have anything for me? So,
Oh.
I offer them every day, almost every day. I wouldn't lie, almost every day, because they know that I'm just here. And I try to do that task that same day. I have to complete it because, you know, it's not really busy. So I make it a point that if they give me a task, if it's possible to complete it within the day, I do that. So that the next day I will be ready again, whatever task that is. But okay, anyway. So aside from those little things that was assigned to me before, I am already handling the transaction. I'm not really the transaction coordinator yet, but partly that is because there are still some aspects of being a transaction coordinator that is not yet given to me. But part of it, like documentation, I'm handling that. So, at least
Mm.
I know that, it's leveling up. Yeah.
Exactly. You're leveling up towards
Yeah.
those different tasks and enhance, improve to whatever you can. And most
Yeah.
especially, the best thing that I've heard about what you've mentioned earlier is that you always ask them, you ask them how you would help them, assist them, how you would make your service better. And I love that because you always ask updates from them. You always ask how
Yes.
they are, how they need, what their needs are for you in order
Yes.
to accomplish it for them in order for them to be satisfied. That's really
Right.
perfect. I love that being I love the trait that you have of being a virtual assistant. And I know there's a lot of things in your plate, but with that kind of job position, I know there are a lot of skills that you've enhanced and skills that you need as well. With that said, with correlated to your age of being 50 years old, as young as 50 years old, what
Yeah.
skills did you still develop along the way?
Okay. So aside from technical skills, because those times like years ago, I'm really not I could say I wasn't. No, I was handling computers, but
Mm,
since then till now, it's upgraded. Everything has upgraded. Okay,
mhm,
so basically, the I mean, right now we're handling only Google, but before I didn't know that it has a workspace. I didn't know that those drives everything. So it was like, okay, so this is how it is. Oh, and I realized that it's not hard. So it's easy to learn. So our system, like the workspace, is very user friendly, and you can just study it yourself if you're not familiar
mhm,
with that. And aside from that, okay, we got a lot of systems. We
mhm,
got different systems for the real estate, like Sky Slope, even Asana. Sorry, it's a different thing.
mhm,
Asana is also a different one. So there are new things that for me, it was like when they introduced those to me, because there are lots. I
yeah,
said, okay, okay, wait, gradually. Because for me, application is more important for me than, reading all these things and watching videos, tutorials. It can help. But when you are really into that system, you discover yourself how to do that. It's different
mhm,
when it's all being created in your mind than
mhm,
putting it on hand, like doing it, practically doing it. So those I learned. Okay, that I realized that at this age, I'm still teachable. I can still learn a
mhm,
lot of things. Okay, so I said 50 is not old. That's what I realized. It's not old. And when you have something in your heart that you want to do, just do it. I mean, at 50, I should not hesitate to do things, because anyway, I'm going there. So there's no turning back. So whatever I can explore at this age, I have to do that. And aside from the technical skills, of course, most importantly, the soft skills. I have carried that from then till now. So I mean, modesty aside, probably that's the reason why my previous employers have, they wanted me with them through all those years, because for me, there is always this respect, not disrespect, but this respect between the
mhm.
boss and the employee. That's
Correct.
all. There is always a boundary. I mean, even though the boss is too friendly to me,
Mhm.
again, boundary is there. So again, soft skill, um, all those things, which are very important. Yeah, those two.
I love that. I love that. I totally agree to that, right? And of course, most especially the part where you've mentioned that 50 is not really old. It's really not, It's really, really not that old. With what you've mentioned, I can't even tell that you're 50, I thought you
Thank
were like
you.
around, the 30s, early 30s, all of that. Yeah, you can't really tell. And of course, I love how you're so, modest and really humble to what you do, even though how much wisdom you've gained all throughout the years. All throughout the years you've gained instilled knowledge, all of that stuff, but you still accept the fact that you're still teachable. And I love that. I love that characteristic that you've mentioned earlier. It
Thank
really
you.
makes sense to how successful you are with being a virtual assistant. So, yeah, going deeper towards being a
Mhm.
VA and of course correlated most especially to Sphere Rocket, I want to ask how did Sphere Rocket impact your life and how did Sphere Rocket help you find, the current role that you have right now with your job?
Yeah, Sphere Racket has great impact. Actually, the interview I had, which was before I got this job, I was rejected. Not only by Sphere Rocket, but by other employers and other
Mhm.
agencies. But by prayer, God will always guide you to the right one. And
Exactly.
when I was invited by again Sphere Rocket for initial, then eventually they offered me like, okay, are you ready for like 4 to 5 interviews? I said, let's do it. Okay, this is it. So
Mhm.
that day, I know actually it was a second time because the first time the employers were they had a different appointment, so it was postponed to another day. That
Mhm.
eventually I was given like 4 or 5 employers. Then you know what? My employer now is the last employer whom I had the interview with, and it was like okay, I was like, oh my god. So nobody was confirming me, and I was like, so maybe it's not yet my time, but fortunately, I don't know. I mean, we were given a joke that time that, oh, I'm sorry, like that, and then eventually we were hired. So Sphere Rocket really gave me the chance to live this life, VA life that I've been wanting to. Before I had this, I was only dreaming like at my age who would still hire me. But Sphere Rocket, gave me this chance, and like what I said earlier, very grateful because through Sphere Rocket I met my boss Jamie, and I love Jamie so much. I love my colleagues. Right now I'm in Camarines Sur, just realizing we are not in the city, and I'm able to do this thing, do my job, no travel, relaxing at home, all these conveniences, I should say. And I am not, my job is like just part of my daily life. I don't feel like it's a job. It's like just a family helping each other. Like, okay, what do you want me to do today? Let me know. I am ready to do it. Like, let me complete this today. I'm just like that. So, yeah, very happy with Sphere Rocket. Thank you so much, Sphere Rocket. Love you, love you.
Yay! I love it. I love how you really love Sphere Rocket so much. And I could really see the growth and the change of how, Sphere Rocket really impacted your life. And I believe, Sphere Rocket loves you as well as how
Thank
much you
you.
really love Sphere Rocket as well. And I love your perseverance, your dedication, your patience, and your positivity. It really led, a long way. Although there has been ups and downs, we go through that and it's normal, but
Yeah.
because of how patient you showed, you really sow what you reap. It's really really nice
Yes.
how much reward the Lord granted you with that, and I love that so much for you. I'm so happy for what you achieved as well.
Thank you.
Yay. Happy. So yeah, of course, I also want to ask, I'm very curious as well with the many months you've been a virtual assistant, and of course, with a very young age that you have, what has been the best purchase that you bought so far?
Experience. Experience traveling, like last year we traveled twice.
Wow.
So, yes. So, because what's happening is that the salary that I get from here, I really put for the travel for me and my husband. So it's like you don't really will feel bad that, okay, this part of the money from the business will go. For me, it's
Yeah.
here, it's like investing for travels. And it's
Mhm.
an experience that, of course, when we say travel, it's always like a different experience. So that is the best purchase that I could say. Aside from that, of course, like girl things, go to the salon and buy. I don't really buy expensive gadgets for myself. I only buy, useful ones.
Mhm.
And so far, I could say I'm proud to say that I don't really have to ask my husband, to okay, let me buy this. Although I am given the authority to handle the money that we have. Of
Mhm.
course, I don't, you should not be like taking it for, I know I will have to do it. I've decided to buy this, let me get that money. No, it's not like that. So it's like I'm free to do, and he doesn't ask. I'm free to do, like, okay, I want to go to the salon, I want to do this, I want to do that, all those perks. So yeah, that's a great thing for me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I could really see, you've been checking all those bucket lists. You really want to travel. And I believe you deserve it. I think
Yes.
you're already in the phase of life wherein you just have to, sit back, relax, enjoy these rewards that you've been doing. You felt no pressure already because, you've worked hard all
Yeah.
throughout your days and years. So you deserve all the best, all the relaxation, all the unwinding that you really have to
Yeah.
do. And it's
Yeah.
it's really great because, not only you've mentioned that being a VA, of course, the income there, you get to travel with that. And it's really great because of how, business minded you are as well, when you know that there are different sources of finances where you're going through. That's why you don't have to worry about it because, the money's running and there's
Yeah.
no need to worry about it because, with that said, you're really, really smart about it and how much you handle your money, of course, quite maturely already. So I'm very happy for, with the traveling that you do
Yeah.
and all of that stuff, most especially your girl things. We have our
Yeah.
essentials. Exactly. That's
Yes.
why I could really tell how lovely your hair are, with how it's been set properly. Exactly. You deserve to, wave it all in and show it off. Of
Yeah.
course, you deserve all those beautifications that you need.
Yes.
Very satisfying, of course, to know that you get to also not worry about your family, but as well, you also have to look out yourself, right? And
Yeah.
I love that. I love that about that experience that you have as well. So thank you so much for sharing that experience.
Welcome. Yeah.
Awesome. And with that said, we've got a commercial break. We're actually down to our last question. We have a commercial
Mhm.
break right after the last question. So please just stay tuned right after that. We've got a segment prepared for you. So, for those aspiring virtual assistants that are watching at our podcast right now, what wisdom do you want to instill into them? The advice that you want to give out to all those aspiring VAs?
Okay. For aspiring VAs, it's always like, always be hopeful because there is always something out there for you, whether it's going to be virtual or non virtual. There is always, you just have to be patient. You have to pray. You have to, make your eyes open to the possibilities that you have in front of you. Probably there is something already there, but you don't realize. So just have an open eyes, open heart and mind, whatever opportunity will come. And of course, when you are already in the VA world, always remember, for me, the most important thing is the soft skills, then the technical skills. So these two. First is soft, then technical. And I think you're going to go a long, long way.
Love it. I love it. So inspiring. Thank you so much, Miss Brenda, for that very, very
Thank
inspiring
you.
piece
Welcome.
of advice for aspiring VAs. You heard it, you guys, from Brenda herself. And with that being said, we're going to be right back. We have a very short commercial break, so please do stay tuned. Ever dreamed of swapping your hectic office for a comfy home workspace? At Sphere Rocket VA, we make that dream a reality. Say goodbye to rush hours and hello to remote work. Enjoy more time with family, more time for yourself, all while building your career. Interested? Apply now at www.spherejobs.ph. All right, and we are back once again in our podcast episode. Welcome back to the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network with me, Julia, and we've got once again our awesome, lovely, wise, of course, virtual assistant guest for today. We've got Miss Brenda. Hi again, Miss Brenda.
Hi. Hi.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. So, yeah, we are down to our last segment. But before that, would you want to give out some shout outs? Promote your social media accounts, promote your boss, give a shout out to your, of course, your client, all of that stuff. Take it away.
Right. Shout out to my boss, Jamie, from Big Picture Real Estate Group. And of course, to my colleague, Steph, always, jolly. And Gavin, also Paula. So, hi to everyone out there in Nebraska.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Brenda. Hi again, Mr. Jamie. Yeah, we can't wait to, of course, get to know you. Hopefully soon. I could also have the chance to talk to you soon, of course, and how much you would share how awesome Brenda is, of course, working with you. Awesome, awesome. That's nice. I love the shout outs. And of course, yeah, we are down to our last segment for the podcast for today. And this is what we call the lightning round. So this is just like fast talk. I'm gonna pitch
Okay.
and throw in some questions. You tell me the first thing at the top of your head, the first answer that pops into your mind. All right.
All right.
All right. Let's do it. First question:
Okay.
day off or bonus pay?
Bonus pay.
Favorite social media platform?
TikTok.
TikTok. Voice or non-voice?
Non-voice.
What is your go-to midnight snack?
I don't go for a midnight snack.
Love it. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Oh, dream country to visit.
Japan.
Wow. Most expensive purchase.
Laptop.
Laptop. And lastly, one word to describe Sphere Rocket.
Awesome.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Brenda, for being so
Awesome.
awesome. Such an awesome guest for a podcast episode for today. I
Thank
really, really enjoyed it.
you.
And thank you so
Thank
much for your
you.
time. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you so much
Thank you. Thank
too.
you.
All
Awesome.
right.
So, yeah. All right. So, this has been Julia officially signing off and wishing everybody to enjoy the rest of their day. Bye, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Bye, Miss Brenda. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to apply as a Sphere Rocket virtual assistant? Well, look no further because this video is for you. I will be telling you which requirements you will need to submit in order to apply to our new website, plus a few tips and tricks to help you with your initial interview. We have achieved a better way for you to send in your application, so let's begin. Step 1. Visit our website
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Step 2. Fill in the application by inputting your full name, email, number, and other questions that you will need to answer in order to move on to the next step. Step number 3, send screenshots of your updated CV, Tony Robbins PDF result, internet speed screenshot with a minimum of 10 Mbps, a scanned copy of your government ID, and your portfolio with sample works. Step 4, click the submit button and wait patiently for our email. Now here are some tips on how to stand out during your initial interview. Tip number 1, dress up as if you were going to an in-person interview. Wearing something formal will give the interviewer a sign that you are serious about applying to this job role. Tip number 2, find a quiet space where your interview will be held. There's nothing worse than getting distracted by the noise around you and not being able to understand what the interviewer is saying. Tip number 3, be yourself and show up as confidently as you can. Know what you bring to the table and honor your worth. Interested in becoming a part of our team? Submit your application now
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Good luck!